Welcome to another edition of Chops and Pops. It is July 24th, 2016. Of all the sights and sounds to be seen and heard, you are here with us on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Andy.
And I'm Andrew.
And I am Shane.
It is Battleground. And already we're off to a great start.
Yeah. Really great.
Two pretty solid matches. We had the Usos and Breeze Dango. And then we had the women's tag team match with Charlotte and Dana Brooke and Sasha and her mystery partner, who was... It was Bayley.
Everyone knows it was Bayley.
Bayley.
Hey,
it was very
we
good,
want
though. She's finally here. She finally got called up. She finally is on the main roster. It was a good match. There was a couple moments where they mistimed a couple things, but overall, the crowd was very into it. Speaking of the investment of the crowd, though, they were also there for that pre-show match, that tag match, the Brazango or whatever, with the Usos. Well-wrestled match, but also, like I said, the crowd was there with it. The energy was there. People were highly invested in that, which I haven't really seen the crowd get invested with anything to do with the Usos, and rarely do they get invested in pre-show matches. So, good job by those guys, but also... the Bayley match. That's what everyone's excited about, and that's what everyone's talking about. So, do you have any other feelings about Bayley finally debuting?
You know, I really thought it was going to be at SummerSlam.
It's
more
in
sense.
time for SummerSlam.
I thought it would make more sense for her to show up at, like, Brooklyn, where she had, like, the biggest match of her life.
So far.
Plus, also, she debuted in a tag team match, so I guess her singles debut could still be at SummerSlam in terms of pay-per-view. But, yeah. I mean, a lot of people got upset about her not getting called up for the draft, so it's interesting they decided to bring her up this weekend, directly following the draft.
Right.
I had an interesting theory about the idea that I think Bayley not getting called up this entire time has just been a work to get people that much more invested. If that was the case... the payoff was what we just watched, that Battleground match, because you could obviously tell the crowd was very into it and very excited to finally see Bayley there. So whether it was a work or whether it wasn't, she's here. And, I don't know whether she's on Raw or SmackDown.
There is an extra spot on SmackDown. There are 7 women on Raw and only 6 women on SmackDown, according to the draft tallies.
Where's Sasha?
She's on Raw with Charlotte.
But overall, would you give that match a thumbs up?
Yeah, that was
tag
good.
team match?
Yeah.
Even Dana Brooke did okay.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say great, but I mean...
I wouldn't go higher than okay.
You know, I don't think it compared to her performance with Asuka. I thought that was a much better match from Dana.
Now, it's time for Fireflies. It's why it's a new day.
Hey, we want a new day.
Predictions?
Yeah.
I'll say Wyatts. I mean, if they're telling the story right, that's really what should happen.
I concur. Titles aren't on the line, so why?
And I think they steal Xavier Woods. I want to throw that caveat in. I think they beat them because usually Xavier Woods is on the outside blowing his trombone, freaking him out, and I think Bray sends the big guys in, uses his crazy powers of persuasion on Xavier, and turns him against the other boys. And then it's like... an insane handicap of like 4. Wow, nice jacket, Bray.
Yeah, Bray's got new gear. Interesting.
I like it.
Looks a lot better. He looks like a biker.
That's interesting.
He definitely needed a new look and an upgrade, and I guess finally did it.
I just wish he would have kept the devil horn ones. I really liked that one.
Yeah.
And then when the lights came on, and he was like, no horns. It's like, ooh, see the devil or really not.
All right, let's watch this.
So, yeah, we'll be right back here on Chops and Pops after this match. Stay tuned. All right. And we're back here on Chops and Pops. And
we have a puppy chewing
we've got a puppy, but we're okay. We're good. And
2 matches, in fact.
So we saw the Wyatts and the New Day, which went very much as Shane predicted.
I missed most of it. I was wandering around, so I didn't really see much. So what did you guys think of it?
I didn't think it was that bad. They incorporated the Xavier Woods thing as the main storyline. His role was definitely amplified. He had his thing with Bray, his thing with Braun, but there was a nasty fall from the suicide dive.
Oh, Biggie does his normal I almost kill myself every time thing.
Oh, I know that spot.
Yeah.
I know that spot.
It's the Biggie almost kills himself.
So who ended up winning?
The
the
Wyatts.
The Wyatts won, yeah.
Sister
Which is
Abigail.
proper, so I guess. Is there anything else you want to add about that match?
I was really hoping the Wyatts were going to drag Xavier Woods out of the ring and take him with them, but they didn't.
It was more of an emphasis on the last time that they'll be together for this type of match. So
Right.
after this, they just wanted to really set it in stone how great they are.
Which I guess is a good way to end the storyline, because how else do you do it? It just kind of gets weird. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
And, whatever. But then, what did we just watch?
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder and
That's
Rusev.
right.
Which went way different than I thought it was going to go. I thought Rusev was just going to beat the hell out of him, but
In a typical Ryder
Ryder
squash.
got a lot of offense in.
They're booking Ryder very strong, but the big thing to talk about is Mojo Rawley's debut.
We don't get hype. We stay hype.
That had to
And
be.
And how enjoyable it actually was. And I'm not a Mojo fan.
He is a ball. He is a rocket straight to the moon.
That was definitely the quickest entrance from backstage to mid-ring of anybody ever, and that's including all the Royal Rumbles we've ever had.
The hype thing is a shoot. Like, he really does actually get himself that hyped, and he just showed us that.
And besides, he's friggin' huge. Like,
The best,
he's
the best
a
was
line-
at the end. Like Rusev's like walking away, and he's like, "I dare you," in like some sort of crazy accent. It was awesome.
And we actually show our age because we were thinking Kurt Hawkins was going to
Yeah.
come out to the ring, Brian Myers, and save Zack Ryder. But, so how do you actually feel if the Hype Bros are going to stay together on the main roster?
You know, I'm okay. I liked the Hype Bros on NXT. I think the tag team division is super strong, and once they finally get the titles off of New Day, I feel like the titles are gonna bounce around a bit. And there's a lot of teams they could go to. I mean, not the Shooting Stars or Shining Stars or whatever
No,
there are.
I could
Or
care
the
less
who
about
cares
them.
what star.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a lot of good teams. I mean,
Where's Ryder drafted to? 'Cause I know he got
SmackDown.
SmackDown
Okay.
with Mojo.
Yeah.
So
mm.
that, Hype Bros on SmackDown, that
Hype
could
Bros.
work. And now we have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, so we should watch it because it's good.
Yes. Predictions, real quick. Who thinks walking away with this one?
I don't believe the whole final battle thing. I think that they're not done. So I feel like it could be a screwy finish, or even if we get a definitive winner, there was something before the finish that is screwy. So I don't see it being their last match. So I don't know. I see them as such equals. I can't really pick who's gonna win.
I see why you would say that, but I'm gonna pick Owens to win this.
I guess if I had to, gun in my head, I would say Owens.
The way that Cesaro was talking in the pre-show, I feel like he's going to come down and do something. Because I'm not sure.
I could see that, and I'd be fine with it. People get upset with the interference at the end, but let's face it, Owens and Zayn are going to fight plenty more times. The thing to pay attention to is if they have a 10, 14-minute match, to have that be good leading up until the finish.
Right.
See how they perform.
Well, all right. So we are going to watch this match, and we'll be back here on Chops and Pops, so stay tuned. And we're back here on Chops and Pops, and that was a fantastic match.
I'm gonna let you know. I actually just got a text from Vinny, our
Mhm.
good old friend Vinny, who used
Friend
to
of the
tape with
podcast.
us for these shows.
Ah, Vinny.
Sending me a text saying this pay-per-view is amazing.
It's
And he's right.
if
And
it
we haven't
keeps up-
talked to him at all while this has been on.
Mhm.
That's the first communication we've had, and he must be thinking what we're thinking, because that Zayn Owens match was incredible. But on top of it, it made me realize that this show has been strong since the beginning.
Including the pre-show.
Including the pre-show. So this has been a very, very good pay-per-view. But before we talk about it as a show as a whole, Zayn and Owens, you guys go first, because I have quite a few things to say about it.
That spot was so scary. With
Zayn
Sami
did
Zayn.
almost die.
He almost died, and he seems okay now, which is
He
great.
might have a broken wrist,
which
or some sort of arm injury.
Yeah, I would definitely not be surprised to learn of
Right.
any injuries coming out of this match.
as long as it's not his shoulder.
I mean, if it's a broken wrist, that could be healed in a cast in 4 weeks.
Right.
And, you do enough of that of just missing a week in the house shows, and that could be healed in,
Mhm.
he can miss a week's time. be okay. But yeah, let's talk about this match.
Potential match of the year candidate.
I think it is. I think for what I was believing to be the best matches of the year for the WWE and how I was placing them and ranking them, for the ones that I thought were the best, Zayn and Owens just topped it. Zayn and Owens had a better match than everything else I enjoyed this year. So I like to sleep on these things and think about it, but I think I'll say, as of right now, Zayn and Owens at this pay-per-view Battleground is my match of the year for WWE.
Their chemistry played such a huge role in the match.
They've had plenty of practice.
Yeah.
They've had so many matches together and so many classic matches together, but what I give them credit for, too, for all the Ring of Honor matches I've seen, you guys have obviously seen all the NXT matches, and they've even had a couple on the main card already, or the main roster already. This was the best they've had with this company, at the very least.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the Brainbuster. I love the Brainbuster. I love all the super kicks.
A lot of really high-risk spots.
Yeah.
Really high-risk spots.
Yeah, and the ending was spectacular at the Haluva kick twice. The second time being after Owens lands on...
It's a
Sami Zayn's
haluva kick.
And I don't know if we said it on the air before. I think it was after we stopped taping that we've kind of noticed that the theme of this pay-per-view is best friends battling each other. That every match is, somebody...
Or just best friends in general.
Right. And gangs kind of facing each other, like the best friends against best friend, like Wyatt family versus New Day. Even right now, we're seeing Natalya and Becky Lynch out there who...
Former friends.
Actually
who turned on each other. And if there was ever a match to incorporate that type of story being told, Zayn and Owens just knocked it out of the park.
And even that scary part just played into it.
It did. I mean, it helped. Yeah, I would say it kind of
set it apart from all the other matches that they've had.
Yeah, it was a brand new story being told from anything else they've done before, but still just as good and classic as any matches they've had with each other. Yeah, incredible match from Zayn and Owens.
Lovely.
And to bring it back to what Vinny just texted me, this show is a really good pay-per-view and one of the best WWE's put on for the year so far.
No doubt.
And I usually don't like to say that early on, but considering that the matches that we haven't seen yet are matches like the Shield Triple Threat.
We have
This
John
is a great
Cena and
pay-per-view.
Enzo versus The Club.
Right.
And Miz and Darren Young. And right now we're watching Natalya and Becky, and so far, it's pretty good. They're like very aggressive from Becky. A lot of very dark eyeshadow. She looks very angry.
It's
like
the dark
very
eyeshadow.
It's the SmackDown thing.
We, along with most of probably the WWE fans, really, really underestimated Battleground. This is a pretty serious pay-per-view.
It's hard when you think that the next one's SummerSlam and this one should be a setup for that.
Well, I thought that's kind of what tonight would be, is that it would just be more of a tease of matches like Zayn and Owens and a tease like the Triple Threat with the Shield, and then we'd get more of a payoff and more of a real match at SummerSlam.
Right.
But no,
they're delivering.
No, we're getting full-blown matches with guys like Zayn and Owens, which are, exactly what you think they would be.
Has me really excited for that 6-man tag match. I think that one's going to be incredible.
Yeah, believe in the club. She got it back around Mania, so it's had plenty of time to heal, but Becky looks like she has the same black eye that she got in her WrestleMania match. Does she have a black eye right now, or is that just
That's the
eyeshadow?
makeup. That might be the makeup.
She wears a lot of
She's
eyeshadow.
wearing like tonight. It's like really dark. Like too dark.
All right, let's pause and take this
Yes.
match in and figure out whether that is a black eye or not.
So we'll be back here on Chops and Pops after this match. Stay tuned. All right. And we're back here on Chops and Pops. There were a couple matches.
2 matches have happened.
One, they both ended kind of...
Abrupt.
Yeah. That's a good word.
Inauspicious.
Inauspicious is a much better word.
How about that?
But yeah, the Becky and Natalya, pretty aggressive.
Natty went over.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Shane, you were going to say something at the very end of the match, and it got cut off by the ending of the match. I don't remember.
Oh, you were saying like storyline wise, it would make sense if Becky. Oh, she just tapped.
Oh yeah. I was gonna talk about that. Yeah, because I felt like it could go either way, and I think the match went well. And I was about to say that since it could go either way, it could, I feel like Becky would make more sense. And before I could get those words out, Natty won and Becky tapped out. But the one compliment I could give to that match is that in seeing what Charlotte and Natty did after WrestleMania with their 2 matches at the pay-per-views, Becky made a lot more of her opportunity than Charlotte did. Seeing
Right.
that they both had a shot against Natty at a pay-per-view. Granted, Charlotte and Natty had a lot more of a ridiculous storyline to work with and a screwy finish. But even before the screwy finish, in terms of the match that they worked, Becky did a lot better of a job than Charlotte did. So, I think that was a much more enjoyable women's match than what we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the match. I mean, I hate to see Becky lose as a big Becky fan, but still a good match.
a pretty clean match.
A lot of Bexplexes.
Bexplex.
A lot of Bexplex. And then we had such an enjoyable experience with Bob Backlund and Darren Young.
He's a treasure.
He is.
I mean, I guess the finish is the best option you could give for it right now because the story is still too new. It still shows hope that they might give Darren Young a singles title run. So you got a double count out. Neither guy won. But the real moment that was created... Well, first of all, there was also the masks.
Right.
The masks that Miz and Maurice came out in. But beyond that, the match itself went okay. But Bob Backlund, I was expecting a Backlund chicken wing to Maurice. Or at the very least, a Backlund chicken wing to Miz. But
we'll have to wait.
Looks like that we're going to get more. So
I think if he would have gotten his shirt off, it would have happened. But he had some troubles. A wardrobe
It was a
malfunction.
great moment. Just watching it. It was a wrestling match in itself, just trying to watch Bob Backlund defeat his shirt.
Oh, Bob.
And now the 6-man tag,
Yeah.
which we have high hopes for.
As long as Enzo doesn't kill himself.
The wild card.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I'm not ripping him apart. Enzo's great, but
Enzo takes a lot more risks, and he's a lot more speedy in the ring, and that can be dangerous. Where Cass is he's a big guy, so he takes bigger steps, and he's a little slower and
he's
more
not gonna be flipping himself
big,
around.
strong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But John Cena's coming out, so everything stops.
Yeah,
Everything stops.
Like this podcast.
Boom. Boom. So we'll be right back here at Chops and Pops after this, because I'm pumped. It's John Cena time. Stay tuned. And we're back here on Chops and Pops. And quite a bit has happened since we last spoke.
Oh, yeah.
The entire rest of the show.
Yep.
has
Everything.
happened. So we need to backtrack.
A little bit.
Let's go back to the first match.
The 6-man tag.
6-man tag.
Great match. Delivered as what we thought it would be.
That
Really
introduction by Enzo was just too much. It was
Gave
almost
him-
too much.
Gave him basically 10 minutes to talk on his own.
They're 3 guys, but because of John Cena, they're 4G.
They're well connected.
Well connected.
How you doing?
That was one of his stronger promos. And they gave him his time to shine in the ring during the match.
Yeah.
As kind of being the underdog to fight back. And, as John Cena would say, never giving up. But yeah, well done match. Had everything you would expect it to have.
Really good pace. Really quick pace. Everybody got everything in, I think.
Yeah, every person individually looked strong. Gallows, Anderson, Styles, Enzo, Cass, Cena.
A bunch of soccer mom chants for AJ's hairstyle.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Hopefully that wears off.
No. Until he gets a haircut, that's sticking.
He can't go back to short hair as much as I want it.
I know, that was the thing I thought of. I thought going back to short hair would be the solution, but then I go back and watch old footage now of him with shorter hair, and I feel like he has to keep the hairstyle he has now.
Yeah.
It's just his look.
It totally fits. Fits everything.
I think the best way to sum up the 6-man tag is that it was exactly what I thought it would be, and that's a good thing. It delivered
Yeah.
to exactly what I thought it would do.
Yeah, I agree.
Very good. Very good match.
I'd watch it again
I think I could watch Enzo all day.
every day.
Like in the
all
ring,
day.
on the mic. Just, he's very entertaining.
He's the man. There's no beating him unless you're The Rock.
Yeah, that's another thing we were talking about before we started taping, is that Enzo's promos, and this is a very high compliment, they're getting to be Rock quality.
I've said it.
That we could see a promo off of Enzo against The Rock.
In Orlando next year.
And it would be very entertaining. How you doing?
And then
I'm The Rock. I'm doing pretty damn good. How about yourself?
Then we had the highlight reel.
Which was pretty good.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. They had a really great exchange there. It was a lot of joking. I loved the Brock rip that Randy Orton had.
Viperville.
Viperville.
No enhancements necessary.
If he had the balls to do that on his own, kudos to Orton.
I think Jericho he's like, well, you're going to pay for that. And
I mean, I'm usually not a huge fan of the big long talk segments on a pay-per-view. I'd say for where it took place towards the very end of the show, this pay-per-view's been very strong as a whole. So I think it was just good for pacing to give you that breather before giving us the Shield triple threat,
Right.
you know? So I'm not that against what they did with the highlight reel. It wasn't anything amazing, but it didn't take away from how good of a show this has been.
Yeah, and it was the only thing that didn't keep with the theme of friendship throughout the whole night. It was its own standalone thing.
True.
A lot like all of
True.
everything Brock Lesnar's ever done, so it makes sense.
Well, Brock Lesnar can't have friends, so
he has no friends.
No.
if they were going to talk about him, they couldn't really do that.
And the granddaddy of them all, what we've been waiting for years.
Yeah.
Years now.
Literally.
The Shield triple threat.
I guess
Udagi.
I guess the way to start it off is to just go around and ask us all, did it deliver for what your expectations were for how long everyone's been waiting and anticipating to see the Shield triple threat? Was it everything you hoped it would be?
I would say yes, and I'd like to agree with what Andrew said off air, that I would watch that 1,000,000 times. I'd like to keep seeing them fight each other. They're really great. Just like I love
when you say that, when you say you'd watch it 1,000,000 times, you don't mean that particular match. You mean you'd watch them have rematches for the next 5 pay-per-views.
Because as great as this match was, and as cool the stuff they did, there are still so many more things they can do. There were so many spots that weren't even done.
There's a lot to build on.
Yeah, there's so much more story there, and it's great. And I hope they don't just stop it here. And I think it's almost a guarantee that something's going to happen at SummerSlam, but you never know. Things change. Hopefully not.
It didn't feel like they were holding back,
Hmm.
but like I said, there's more to build on with the match. How did you feel, Andrew?
I thought it was tremendous. I thought they did everything I thought they were going to do. And where it could build from here is great because, like I said before, they are just getting used to doing this in WWE in the biggest stage that it's always going to main event. It's always going to be the best match on the card, no matter what card it's on. And every single one of them has great talent, with the exception of Roman Reigns not selling a lot.
I know that no sell of the buckle bomb was tough to swallow.
There was more.
And the Dean Ambrose went to do the crossbody, and he just stopped him dead.
In
like,
the beginning of the match.
Not today.
But let's take into account that he hasn't really worked too much.
He should know better than that.
I'm not going to make excuses
That's
for
a
him.
bad Roman. That's a very bad Roman. Now, you brought up a very good point about how it would be the best match on any card that it's on because of what I talked about before earlier on in the night of Zayn and Owens having the match of the year. So do you feel the Shield triple threat top Zayn and Owens and or that the Shield triple threat is the match of the year for WWE?
Wow. Negative thing that comes to my mind about the Zayn and Owens match was the botch on the
Where
on the apron.
almost killed himself. That's fair.
And I can't think of any anything that severe that happened in the triple threat match. I'd have to rewatch it, but not to take away from Zayn and Owens, but this was special in that it not only incorporated the friendship, the winner was the champion for his brand, so they included the entire roster. They kept flashing to the locker rooms and everything like that. It really played into it's more than just friends facing each other.
Right now, if I had to pick, I think Zayn Owens topped it for me. It's a matter of sleeping on it. So I could change my mind and think the Shield triple threat is better, but it's definitely in between those two. Andy, how did you feel?
Ooh. Like I said, I agree that I could watch this match a million times. I don't think it was better than Zayn and Owens, only because I was so invested in their NXT matches and the fact that the third one never really happened because Zayn had to go out for surgery. So this to me felt like the conclusion of that match with Zayn getting the win, and that felt really good. It was really satisfying moment, even if it doesn't end up being the end all to this. It just felt really neat, like a very clean one. And this, whereas the Shield one felt like the beginning of something.
I think the Shield triple threat match delivered for what we expected it to be this entire time. But we should do our chops and pops of the night for the pay-per-view.
This is going to be tough because this was a really strong pay-per-view.
They were really good matches.
Do we have I mean, we could chop Sami Zayn for almost killing himself for landing on his head, but I mean, what?
My chop is Becky losing.
Damn it.
I'm just upset about that.
I will say, it felt weird watching Natalya win with the sharpshooter.
It just, to me, it felt like the ending just happened too soon. Like, too suddenly. It was just like a normal exchange, and all of a sudden it's over. It's like, oh, okay, that was.
Yeah.
It felt like the match was just picking up steam and then just stopped.
That does seem like the closest thing to a chop.
I have a chop.
What's yours?
Ooh.
The fight that Bob Backlund got into with his shirt. It was, and I did.
Wait, that's your chop? I feel like that would be the pop of the
Because
night.
at the end, it was just like the front of his shirt. Like the back was gone for some reason, but he was stuck almost like in a straitjacket.
He tried to pull it over his head, and it just.
He forgot he was wearing
suspenders.
suspenders. And you know what? That's not a chop. That's not a chop at all.
That's quality TV right there.
There was nothing bad about this card.
Yeah, there really wasn't that much that was that bad. And like I said, the highlight reel would be one of the lower moments, but even that is nothing that I would necessarily chop in terms of it ruining the pay-per-view. Even the pre-show. We talked about the pre-show.
Right.
Yeah.
And how strong that match was. So even if you brought up the pre-show, it wasn't anything bad.
Yeah. Maybe Corey Graves' hairline, like on the right side of his head.
Wait, is this getting to the point where it's literally... I mean, you made a good point about Becky and Natalya with that finish, and the highlight reel was a little weaker. But is there literally nothing wrong with this pay-per-view? Because that really says something.
This might go down one of the best, if not the best, pay-per-view of the year.
We haven't got.
I mean, we're a little more than. I mean, if you go January to December, but I mean, if you go WrestleMania season, I mean, we're I don't know, what are we, 3 months in, so we're a quarter of the way through the year. It's definitely front runner.
Yeah.
I'll say, to sum it up, if I have any sort of chop of the night, it would be that Bob Backlund didn't apply the crossface chicken wing to Maurice. Pop of the night. Start with Andy.
Don't you dare. Don't take it. Don't take it.
I hope I don't take your pop. My pop is I'm gonna give it to Sami Zayn getting that big win. That just, it felt good. It felt like closure. You know, the way he made sure that Kevin Owens stayed down with the second hell of a kick.
Such a great
It
ending.
was just, it felt right, and it felt like great booking. It just felt good. Made me feel good. I'd like to watch that again. And
yeah.
Now knowing that he
pay-per-view, I'd like to rewatch again.
Knowing that the shoulder, the bad spot on the apron, he lives through that, and everything seemed to be okay for the rest of the match. I will be able to enjoy the match better, I think, a second time, because I won't be as scared.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hope that Sami Zayn doesn't have a broken wrist right now.
Yeah. Or anything that's too serious to
Mm.
come right back from.
Yeah. What about you, Pop of the Night?
Bayley. Hands down. Or should I say hands out for a hug.
There ain't no stopping us now.
The crowd was so alive for that. Sasha comes out, you see her smiling to the back, and she's like, I'm about to watch one of the best moments in one of my best friend's life. And then the longest await, should I say? I was going to say it's the last one, the last debut of the main
That
NXT
original
people.
cast, yeah.
Yeah, but we still haven't seen Finn Balor. But that that'll happen.
He got at least called up, though. He was
Yeah.
part of the
It'll be
cast.
tomorrow night
Yeah.
on Raw.
It-
He'll have his big moment.
Yeah. And Shane's pop.
My Pop of the Night, I'm going to give it to the fact that these were the two best matches of the year on the same show, and the rest of the card wasn't really any weaker or any filler. So Pop of the Night to the show of the year, show of 2016. And kind of came from out of nowhere. Took
I
us
had
off guard.
no
It
expectations
was
for today.
really,
But
really,
that's-
really good.
I feel like we could have had expectations if we looked at it differently, because I didn't take into account this draft just happened. So the people that got called up that were drafted and, come tomorrow and Tuesday when we see them for the first time, what better way to have debuted them than at the most recent pay-per-view? Look at Mojo,
Oh, Mojo. That was a
Like,
great moment, too.
The Mojo moment was a great moment. But I mean, even on paper, the Shield triple threat match in itself was
Yeah.
something to get excited for. It was just that even with Zayn and Owens, that's another match on paper that looks amazing. We just had all this apprehension. We just were looking at it as we're getting some sort of screwy finish. We're going to get the real match next month. And no, they gave us
Both were clean
both
endings,
matches tonight,
Right.
and we weren't ready for that or expecting it.
Oh, yeah.
Really makes you wonder what's going to happen at SummerSlam.
I believe in Barclay, but and I mean I'm cool with half this card being a bunch of rematches.
I'm thinking that's a strong case.
and
Yeah.
that's fine.
And it would be
because-
okay, because they were all great
But
matches.
there's
Yeah.
some tags that need to have singles matches. Like I need to see Sasha or Bayley in a singles match. Like I want to see
Well,
AJ
isn't that
in a
what-
singles match.
What happened tonight is that Sasha earned the right to get a singles match at Charlotte at SummerSlam. Wasn't that the stipulation of the...
I didn't hear about that. Maybe, but really, really outstanding pay-per-view. And I guess, I mean, we'll probably tape next week because a lot of stuff happened this week with Ultima Lucha Part 3.
Oh, yeah, we got to
happened.
talk Lucha.
Beginning of the New Japan G1 Climax started.
Some more CWC stuff.
Another
We
week in
didn't
the
we didn't talk
CWC.
about this week's CWC.
Oh, yeah.
We're old.
We are old.
Tired.
We lost hype. We
Yeah,
didn't-
we need Mojo
We ain't
right
hype.
now.
We ain't hype. So, that's it for Chops and Pops. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Do one of those hashtag things. People like the hashtags. Do a dubstep. The Schmurda dance. Do it.
Come follow us out of nowhere at Chops and Pops. At Chops and Pops. At Chops and Pops. It's all one word. At Chops and Pops.
You hear us, Randy Orton? Follow us on Twitter.
That would be spectacular.
I forgot.
I think this was good. I had a great time.
Fantastic.
Let's do this
pay-per-view.
again sometime.
Let's do it.
This is
I
our
want
s-
WWE to do this again sometime.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
do pay-per-views
Yeah.
this well again sometime.
On that note, I am Andy,
And I'm Andrew.
And I am Shane.
and we will catch you next time here on Chops and Pops.